So, first thing I want to say is I wish I had a comfortable chair to sit in like Dwayne Johnson does. His producer lets him sit in like a lawn chair and he smokes a cigar. I have a piano stool and it's not very comfortable, but I shall keep on keeping on. What I wanted to talk about was there's a filly I'm riding. I call her Braids. That's just what I call her. I don't know what her real name is. And this is just about changing things up. I talk about consistency. And this was a situation where I had to change that consistency. So here's the Reader's Digest version of it. She's got, I don't know, X amount of rides, 35, 40 rides or whatever. She's at the point now where I catch her out of her stall, lead her to the hitch rail, saddle her up, leave her tied, go get a cup of coffee, do whatever, ride her, put her away. She's on track. She's doing what she's supposed to do. So the other day I was in the midst of saddling her. I just tightened my cinch a little bit. I hadn't got my back cinch yet. The way the whole deal is set up, without getting really into it, there's a circular kind of a driveway. A truck and trailer were coming around on one side and she was looking at that. That was all well and good. She'd been in that situation before where this truck and trailer was coming around and quite near her, putting a lot of pressure on her. That wasn't a big deal. At the exact same time, and I'd stepped away for no particular reason, whatever. I just tightened my cinch and I stepped away, I guess, to take a sip of coffee. At the exact same time as that truck coming around, somebody was moving the wheelbarrow over on the other side of her and like tripped and kind of spilled, and there was kind of a little deal. Anyway, the long story short is it was too much. She was surrounded by pressure. She freaked out, had herself a little pullback fit. This filly, she's kind of committed to a wreck. Anyway, that's just the way she is. When she's in a wreck, she's committed to it. Like, she's going to wreck all the way. And she did. And she wrecked, she pulled back, banged her head, fell down, crushed a stirrup, blah, 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 blah. In the end, everything was fine. She wasn't hurt. She had a little cut. Broke one of my stirrups. Not a big deal. That's what stirrups are for. No big deal. Horses getting wrecks. Things happen. We keep going. The next day I catch her. Saddle her up. Go to the same place. Do the same thing that I always do. Saddle her up. Cinch her up. And she goes to looking around for a wreck. And there's not one. So she just creates one. And just pulls back. Throws a fit. Creates her own wreck. And again, is just as committed to it as ever. And I said, okay, well, we got to change things up. So I did my ride, did everything normal. The next day, then I catch her, saddle her up, tighten my cinch, loosen my cinch, tighten my cinch, loosen my cinch, untie her, lead her over to the saddle house, lead her over here, walk around over there, back her up for a while, do some this and that. It's just completely random stuff. I couldn't explain to you exactly what I did because it was just random stuff. I just did some stuff. And then got on her, had her ride. Cooled her off the same way I always do, put her away. The next day I did the same thing. But not consistent in my randomness, just more randomness. I tied her to the post, put a blanket on her, took the blanket back off, led her over to the saddle house, took a sip of coffee, led her back over, tied her up again, just did some more random stuff. And I did that for about 3 days and just threw off the whole mindset that she was in, that when I tightened that cinch, the wreck's on. I just fouled up everything for her, so she didn't know where we were going or why we were coming. So I did that 1-2 days in a row. Then the third day, I just did my normal way of doing things again. And she was looking for it. Where's that wreck coming from? But then she couldn't remember exactly where she was supposed to throw that wreck in. And so now we're back on track. Now we're back to everything. So I preach consistency. But when you get those little wrecks, throw that out the window, because that horse has been taught by consistency, and they will learn the recs by consistency too. So just throw in some random stuff if you get in that situation. Just because we're creatures of habit. Horses are creatures of habit, and we're creatures of habit. So we'll just keep doing the same thing and keep pulling that cinch up, and they pull back and fall down. We kick them in the belly, tell them they're idiots, cuss at the dog, and it'll just happen and happen and happen and happen. And that's how we get these horses that are cinchy and bad and tough to be around. So if you get into a little deal like that, recognize it and just put a hooey in there. Confuse that horse. Change it up.